Hi, everybody. This is Sam from the CamelCast podcast. Back at you with another episode. Here with the co-host Jaden. Say hello, Jaden.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 6 of CamelCast podcast. So today, we're first going to talk about the most important branch of the military, Space Force. We need it. It's necessary. It's really not, but I'm saying that because it's funny. So, Space Force, basically...
Well, it's a Space Command. It's the exact same thing. Space Command.
Oh, right. Space Command, Space Force, whatever. Trump says it's Space Force. Basically, this is what they do. Go to space. I mean, that's really it. Like, they protect space, which nobody has any claims in space, so I don't really get how that does anything. Like, it's really pointless. The only thing that's useful about it is the fact that you can see missile launches, but, like, even if, like, there's easier, cheaper ways to spot missiles. And so, I mean, I love how Republicans are like, we're going to lose all this money off of universal health care. But then they give this go-ahead. Trump gives this go-ahead for Space Force, which is like, we don't do missions to the moon because it's too expensive. We send less people to space because it's too expensive. If this is actually what he wants, we have to send a lot of people to space to actually have a, as he says, and I say this in quotes, Space Force. We have to send a lot of troops up there, a lot of Space Force troops, and that's going to cost a lot of money that could be put to actual useful things.
Yeah, I know. And think about it. If we're going to fight wars, or if we're going to start fighting wars in space, then we're done fricked, okay? Because, you launch a strike on Russia's base on the moon, then Russia strikes back on Earth, and, well, it's just a war everywhere, and, yeah, we're done. We're basically done as a human species.
I mean, yeah, we probably are considering, with one of the big brain leaders in this world, I'm not going to name any names, Trump, somebody's probably going to end up nuking the moon if we have Space War. Not gonna lie.
You know what probably would happen? It actually wouldn't be that surprising if Trump suggests that. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Yeah,
At this
I mean,
point.
it's like, no, what he'll probably say is, night is a disadvantage to our military. I know how to stop it. Let's nuke the moon.
Yeah.
That's funny. But so Space Force is so useless because I can assure you that wars might be. I can't say for sure that wars will be fought in space, but eventually anything is possible. This could lead to wars being fought in space, and if we have wars in space in 2 years, then you know what, Trump, you're a genius. You gave us Space Force. We're way ahead of the curve, but I doubt that we will have a war in space anytime soon.
Yeah, and the cost of this is insane. They say it's going to be $5 million, but it's probably going to be way more than that, at least $10 million. And, you're right, Jane, because the Republicans say, well, we don't have enough money for, universal health care, but, they're, going to space now. First, Trump was like, yeah, America first, America first. Now he's like, screw America first. Space! Space! Go to space!
Oh, that's so true. I don't understand why we have a Space Force. Wars aren't going to be fought in space for a while. We have plenty of issues on Earth. Let's not worry about space for now. Because when we colonize Mars, dude, if we don't have all the issues on Earth figured out, bro, the human species is done for.
Yeah, I know.
We're done. So we should be spending our money on things like, I don't know, universal health care, universal background checks. This actually matters, not nuking the moon.
Yeah, nuke the moon.
Nuking the moon.
Okay, let's move on to our next topic.
All right, so we're going to be talking now about the third Democratic Democratic debates. Wow, it's going by so quickly. And we're going to have, and in these debates are Julian Castro, Cory Booker, Andrew Yang, Elizabeth Warren, Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders, Kamala Harris, Beto O'Rourke, Pete Buttigieg, and Amy Klobuchar. There are 10 candidates that qualified, and it's going to be held in Houston, Texas. So I'm going to let Sam talk about this.
So, technically, actually, the lineup is surprisingly accurate by poll numbers alone, without the candidates that dropped out. But they did leave out Tulsi Gabbard on purpose, because the DNC, you need to score 2% in the polls, at least 4 quote-unquote DNC-approved polls, which is quite odd because, what does DNC approve mean? And the DNC is going to have centrist, beliefs that are against progressives. So I think that they actually rigged the system because Tulsi, she scored like 2% or even over in quite a lot of polls, but none were quote-unquote DNC approved. And it was this really sketchy selection process. And before it didn't really matter because Tulsi had enough donors, more than 130,000. But the DNC, in the end, they decided that polling matters more than a total amount of donors, and decided that it has a very last minute, which was basically just to not include Tulsi in the debate. And I think this was clearly not on purpose, because the DNC has a bias against Tulsi and Bernie and Andrew Yang and those candidates. And so
I think that polls definitely do matter more than donors because. Say I have 130,000 people. Say I'm running for president, and I only have 130,000 total supporters. And I know that this is like not a good example, but whatever. And if say every single one of those 130,000 people donate to me, that means that I've reached the donor requirement, but I definitely haven't reached the poll requirement.
Okay.
So that's not. So I think I think polls are a little more important, but I definitely do agree with you, Sam, that they shouldn't have to be DNC approved polls. They should just be any approved poll. Like, obviously, it can't be a poll that's run by Tulsi Gabbard or a poll that's run by you, right? It has to be an approved poll, but I don't think it should have to be DNC approved poll.
Okay. First of all, if you were running for president, I'd donate to you. Okay. So, basically, you're right. It's like polls, I think they should be more important than donors, even though donors show more grassroots support. But here's the thing, the DNC decided this at the very last minute. Before the thing, it didn't really matter. It's the same with Mike Gravel. So, yeah, I think the DNC is really, rigging it and screwing it.
Yeah. Okay, so next topic so Sam, what's our next topic?
Our next topic is Walmart banning all sale of handguns in their stores, and some conservatives getting really triggered over it.
Yeah, so Walmart stopped selling handguns as a result of all the recent shootings, and obviously the shooting in El Paso is at a Walmart. So, Sam, what are your thoughts on this?
So, basically they stopped all the sale of handguns in their stores. And, Walmart, they've been known for a long time to, they sell guns and they ignore the activists to stop it. But now they finally had to do something. Because first, Walmart didn't really care. They just wanted to make as much money as possible. Then they saw there's like a mass shooting every week. It's getting so insane. So many people are dying. They just had to do something. So they did this. It's not even that big of a step, They're still selling the long barrels, the guns, the hunting rifles. But they acknowledge that most homicides happen with, handguns that are easier, cheaper to purchase. So they stopped selling those in most of the stores. Actually, I think it might be all of them because they sell them for a while in Alaska. I don't know if they stopped selling them in Alaska or not. But anyway, a lot of conservatives, including Breaking Benjamin Shapiro, he got really triggered over it, and he's saying that Democrats are using they're pressuring corporations to help them through politics and stuff, which I think is not true because, most corporations are supported by conservatives, like free market stuff, which conservatives support. So Democrats using them, I think that's crazy. And Ben Shapiro is really hypocritical because, now he's going to find any way to smear the Democrats, but like, even though he himself is probably supporting corporations in a lot of ways. Yeah, and it's like these conservatives, they're being corrupted by all these fossil fuel industries, the gun industry, and the Democrats, they're not pressuring the corporations at all. It's just activism. Everyone like does it. If you don't like something, protest them. We're not pressuring them to do something. We're just protesting to for them to stop selling guns because we're in a crisis with this. There's like a mass shooting every week and it's getting insane. So anyway, speaking of guns, let's move on to our next topic, which is.
So, San Francisco has officially named the NRA a domestic terrorist group. We're making progress.
Yeah, so.
This is insane, We're actually making progress, and we're getting to the point where we actually might be able to get something done. And I know I probably shouldn't be so hopeful because we do have a Republican-controlled Senate and a Republican. Wait, sorry, he's not a Republican. He's a lunatic in office. So yeah, so that probably won't happen. But basically, what this means is not really much, but it just means that they're officially saying that they are a terrorist group, which blows my mind that it just came right like that. That now in San Francisco, if you talk about the NRA, you're talking about a terrorist group.
Yeah, so first, my thoughts on this. Honestly, technically, well, San Francisco already doing this. I just want to point out that the NRA is technically not, by definition, a terrorist group because terrorists are committing violence, in the name of a political agenda. Well, the NRA doesn't do this directly, so they can still be considered a domestic terrorist group, but they do this more through, lobbying and stuff. So they're even worse than that. They, influence many different other types of terrorism. They're a domestic terrorist lobbying group, which I think is even worse than a regular domestic terrorist group.
Yeah. So I think there's not much there as, just kind of a smaller topic. It doesn't mean much for the entire United States and really doesn't mean much for San Francisco. But it is progress, and progress is what we need. So let's move into our next topic, which is Hurricane Dorian, which is totally going to hit Alabama. So
Yeehaw. Yeehaw.
So as you guys know, Hurricane Dorian is currently slamming into the Carolinas, which is so sad to see the destruction in the Carolinas. But according to Trump, the hurricane is going to hit Alabama. Don't know why he thinks that, but so basically he said it, right? He said it's going to hit Alabama, whatever. Then the National Weather Association, I think that's the name of it, the National Weather, whatever, corrected him and said, hey, you're not right. It's actually not going to hit Alabama. If you're in Alabama, don't worry. You're safe. But then Trump, in an interview, took out a poster board of the original course of Hurricane Dorian. It's not the current course as time of him in the interview, but the original course that the hurricane was set to take. And literally drew in Sharpie the hurricane extending to Alabama just to double down on what he said. And it's hilarious because to make the whole story even funnier, it's illegal to tamper with anything like that, with anything so serious like that the National Weather Center makes. You can't tamper with it because you could scare people into thinking that it's going to hit Alabama,
It's super funny because, when the media corrected him, most normal people, they would say, "Oh, my bad. It was just a mistake. I didn't know it was not, it was gonna hit Alabama. I thought it was sorry, my bad." A normal person would say that. Trump, however, Trump doubles down on everything. His ego is even huger than his hands. It's even huger, okay? Yeah, so basically, Trump is like, no. I don't care if you're right, you're wrong. Actually, the hurricane's not going to hit Alabama? No, wrong answer. It's going to hit Alabama, and I'll prove it to you by drawing it on this very official map with this very official White House Sharpie.
So I know we're always like quoting Trevor Noah in the Daily Show, but it's actually really funny. So I was watching one of their episodes, and basically Trevor said that Trump should take his magical Sharpie and draw it all the way down to Brazil, where we got those insane fires burning, to put them out.
Yeah.
Because according to Trump, his Sharpie is so magical that it can change courses of hurricanes. So why don't we use your magical Sharpie for something good? Although a hurricane hitting Brazil probably wouldn't be great, but at least we put out the fires.
Donald Trump, the world's oldest 5-year-old. Yeah, he never gets old. You know, yeah, in his mind, he literally never gets old. So, I love how easily he gets triggered. It's like, the conservatives are always saying, yeah, the left's always getting triggered. We're for free speech, bro. Yeah, you can say whatever you want, and no one's going to get triggered. But then their president is making such a big deal over a simple mistake. It's hilarious.
I know, it's like you could have just said, hey, my bad. Hurricane Dorian is actually hitting the Carolinas and probably moving up the coast. My bad, thought it was going to hit Alabama. But instead he's like, no, it's going to hit Alabama. He draws his magical Sharpie that changes the course of hurricanes.
Yeah. It's so funny. Well, as everyone knows...
That was such a funny story, like, when I, heard about it. I was, laughing so hard.
You know, it'd be even funnier if the hurricane's hitting North Carolina now, and Trump is he's tripling down on it. So he's going to say it's going to turn back south, ravage the Appalachians or whatever, then go back through the deep south, all the way to Alabama, and then he would finally be right.
Oh my God, the sad part is that's so likely. So what's probably going to happen is that Fox News, one of the actual sane people on Fox News, is going to say, hey, Trump was incorrect about this, whatever, and then he's going to say, what's going on with Fox?
Yeah.
He's going to roast Fox for calling him incorrect. They don't work for you, Mr. President.
You know how it's crazy how popular Trump is with his party. He's 90% popular. And you know what's sad? He says all this crazy stuff. The vast majority of his supporters still defend him on Twitter. This is insane. This is insane.
The best response to that is sad.
Yeah. It's hilarious. I'm kind of guilty because Trump, he's a horrible person, He helps, a genocide that kills many innocent civilians in Yemen, He funds it with Saudi Arabia and stuff, He's terrible on other foreign policy issues, He's terrible on guns. But, he's hilarious. He's super funny.
I know, and it's such in all the wrong ways. That's the best part, because Trump thinks he's this amazing politician, plus all of us people who understand what's actually going on in this country are laughing our behinds off. It's hilarious. Comedy show. I mean, literally, we should just have Trump be an improv. And dude, he'll get so many sales. Just have him act out like he's president.
Yeah.
He'll get so many sales.
Yeah, just I remember looking back at 2016, I feel bad. I mean, I don't agree with Hillary on most issues, but I feel bad looking back at Hillary. It's like she lost to this joke of a human being, a non-politician reality star buffoon who eats KFC for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and dinner, and brunch.
No, bro, she actually lost to an orange peel
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, anyway, so...
All that, she lost to an orange peel.
Yeah, anyway, so bye, guys. This is all the time we have. So...
Thank you for listening, everyone. It's been fun. This is probably one of the most fun episodes we've recorded. Make sure you guys like and subscribe because we want to get our subscriber count up. And thank you guys for watching. And also, if you agree or disagree or have any ideas for something you want us to talk about, just write it in the comments. We'll probably see it. And maybe we'll give you a heart. And maybe we'll talk about it in our next episode. So thank you guys for watching. And yeah, goodbye.